Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't know if I'm live right now or not. So, I am going to just see what's up and see who pops in. Um, I know it's been a minute, and maybe when somebody pop in, I'll see how clear I am. So, I know it's been a minute. This is not going to be a long one. It's been a minute since I've done a live here on YouTube. There's a reason for it and stuff like that. So shout out to all the brothers that were kind of concerned. And this is this is going to be all about an escape plan. And the thing here is that things are getting progressively worse for the Afro man in the United States. All right. The things are getting progressively worse for the Afro man in the United States. All right. And so when I say it's getting progressively worse, this right here isn't even a question anymore. It isn't even a question anymore. So as a lot of people was watching the Colorado Oregon game, I for the life of me could not understand why Coach Sanders, Coach Primetime, had so many haters that were from the black community. As many as the jealous coaches, the mayonnaise coaches that were out there upset, as many as those were that were out there that who were upset, there were just as many people from the black community. And I looked at this, and what I saw was jealousy. What I saw was jealousy that followed anyone. Understand, any Afro man that did good in the Afro community. We keep saying that, oh, we need to build in the Afro community. We need to, oh, yeah, you need to build in the Afro community. And I keep saying you can't. All right. People keep saying, oh, we need to build. And I keep saying, you cannot. You cannot build in a place that despise you. All right. You can't build in a place that despise you. And so, what do you do then? You have to build elsewhere. You have to build elsewhere. And so, one of the things that's been going on is a lot of brothers is like, man, you haven't been doing lives and stuff like that. And I started to understand. I stopped doing lives for a little bit because the support just wasn't really there. All right. And I noticed that there's a lot of other distractions. Most of the people that used to support my channel went to make channels of their own, kind of doing the same thing. And I was like, okay, that's okay. And so um, I just move around a bit. Hey, what's up, Nessman? Okay. So I just decided to move around a bit. And while I was moving around a bit, I had my ear to the wheel, so to speak, to understand what's really going on. And what's really going on is the Afro man in the United States is despised to such a degree that it comes up with the H word. All right. And don't get it twisted. The willful destruction of our sons, our seeds, males or females, it doesn't matter. The greatest adversary that we have in the community is the greatest adversary we've ever had. And that's because she was given the power to destroy us while we were yet children, either in her belly or right out of her belly. Right? And then we fell for the sucker move. The sucker move. Well, your mama black, right? As if that was supposed to mean something. So a lot of people fell for that. And so by falling for that, they neglected to keep the women accountable. In other words, the leadership role that we were supposed to have, the rulers that we were supposed to be, it never happened because we was busy being brainwashed while we were yet children. All right. So this is, we know what the problem is, and this is a solution issue. And this isn't like everyone can do it issue, but those that can, it would behoove you to move around, and this would make space for those that can't. All right. And so this is what I mean by this. This is what I mean by this. All right. So in my travels, I started to understand something, that an Afro man that's a good Afro man, he'll get two things, or he'll get respect. He'll get the respect of people in the communities. All right. But because you show a kind heart, if you deal with women, they're going to try to use you. The difference is these women won't try to destroy you. They'll just try to see what they can get out of you because you got a kind heart. All right. And so the thing is that we're going to have to make another choice when we deal with relationship. All right. The Afro men, don't get it twisted. Don't let all these talking heads on TikTok, YouTube, and all of that make you for a second make you think that there is hope that you could build. One, you can't build with something that has already been destroyed or ruined. Let me repeat that again. You can't build with something that has already been destroyed or ruined. And so this is something you have to understand. Most of the ABW in the so-called Black community, as we say, are ruined, right? So what are your options? Your options are coming across the border, or you can go across the border. All right. This is one of those things that it kind of came down to where you were or choices we made before we get to this point. You got some brothers that have houses, they could sell their houses and they could get ghosts. Some brothers cannot. I mean, it's a really complicated situation. But what we do know for sure is the BW in the United States is an adversary. All right. She sees the Afro man not as a leader, which we are. She sees the Afro man as somebody that she can trample over in order to impress the Caucasian man, because that's her heart's desire. She wants the position of the Caucasian woman, hence the makeup, the weave, all the rest of the stuff. All right, that's who she's trying to appeal to. What they did was they trained us as young boys to approve of that, and then they get mad at the ones where that did not take hold. All right, period. It didn't take hold. All right, and so Where are we now? We are in a place where it's time for brothers to get ghosts. All right. And you have options for an escape route. I forgot to put E at the end of route. All right. But you have options for this escape route. All right. And we're going to discuss several quickly here. Since there's only a few of us here, this will probably be a quick video. All right. But this video is going to entail a lot of information that I started to discover. All right. Brazil. I'm here right now, and it is an excellent place if you want to just visit. I thought about moving here because of my ties to the NGO and stuff like that. Right? But one must ask yourself, are you going to be happy somewhere? Right? Um, Working with the children here brings me a lot of joy. Now, here's the thing. I can come back here, right? So I could travel back here. Is it a place that I think I can settle down and be happy? All right. Then you have the DR, and it's the same question. Then you have Colombia, same question. You got Thailand and the Philippines. All right. So a couple of things you must ask yourself is, what is the geopolitical environment? Remember, just because I don't vote don't mean I don't pay attention to what's going on in politics, what's going on in the world, who's doing what. The other thing is, being that I'm involved with many aspects of social media, I could get as they say, a flyover view of kind of what people really think about us as Afro men in the United States. Right? A lot of people love our culture, but they don't like us, and they don't like us because of we developed the culture that their children like to copy. We develop culture that everybody likes to copy. What's up, young boy 24? All right. And so basically, with us developing this culture that everybody wants to copy, all right, people like the culture we develop. They like to steal it. They like to claim it for themselves. They like to take it and say that, oh, we're the ones that came up with this, forgetting that we have all that history. And so here's the other reason why we need to get away from the BW in the United States. And we need to take these escape routes. We want to be able to give our seed to someone where we can teach the history that we know. I got a clip of Cosby talking about all the people that they kept out of the history books that did amazing things, but they kept them out because of the color of their skin was like mine. All right. And so basically, it's not, we are fools to not teach our children the history, the right history. Never mind the mess they're teaching them in school. When they come home with the history stuff, no, we teach them the Afro part and all of that. We make sure we teach them. Here's the thing. When we look at the so-called Jewish community, all right, they teach the Holocaust from their perspective. They don't teach it from anybody else's perspective. They teach it from their perspective. What we've been through is way worse than that. What our ancestors been through is way worse than what their ancestors been through. And in both cases, it's been horrific. But you know why people remember the Holocaust? Because they won't let anybody forget. The sorriest thing that I see is when other so-called black people tell other black people we need to forget our history, or they want to rewrite how chattel slavery happened. Oh, white people were slaves too. They weren't chattel slaves. And it is insidious. It is insidious. Um, the Holocaust. The Jews were not the first people that's happened to. Remember, Cecil Rhodes and the King of Belgium, they wiped out millions, way more than 6 million, but upwards to 10 million African peoples, to the point where they committed genocide. And that's part of history. But we have allowed them to condition us to not teach that to Afro people. Teach what really happened to Afro people in the Americas. All right. And so, in order to teach that, we got to get with women where teaching culture is a part of raising the child. That means we can't do it with the BW in the United States. They only care about one thing, and that is everything from their perspective, only about them. And it is so ubiquitous that even when you go on channels and stuff, everybody's talking about protect black women. You got Brickgate, all these lies. Even in the midst of all these lies, they want you to believe their word first. I'm quite honest. I say I believe them last. I wait for all the evidence to come out because I've seen nothing but lies come from them. And that's the honest truth. We all can make that honest truth. All right. And so it's an issue. It's a real issue. All right. And so now we look at these other options, right? And one of the problems is some dudes are so brainwashed that they've conditioned themselves to sit with evil because evil is the same color that they have. All right. And I'm saying that the type of women that give me the most ease of joy happens to be ones that don't look like me. And I've been paying attention to this. And I started to think, what's going on here in Colombia? Not so much in Colombia, but definitely in the DR and straight up here in Brazil with the Afro Brazilians, right? You have this herd mentality where even the same words that black women use, they use. This thing is everywhere. And so what they try to say, if you see a problem in all these women, then maybe they're not the problem, it's you. No, you're not the problem. It is them. It is them, right? You are only the problem if you've been doing some bad stuff and then you examine yourself. But if your problem with the women is that they've been toxic, they're too much of a risk, and it's ubiquitous throughout the population, and although there are good ones, it's good ones peppered in. All right, it's good ones peppered in, but not enough to make a difference. Because even they are attacked by the majority of the bad ones. And so when they say, oh, no, you got to let that go. You got to let that go. So what's happening is, the thing is, we got to understand that we got women around the world that have the shape. Yeah, they want to make excuses for these women. But as you can see clearly, we got women around the world that have the shape that brothers like. Here's the other thing. A lot of these women are getting in shape for brothers. This isn't this shape right here wasn't the only reason this shape appeals to Caucasian men, because the Caucasian men are trying to have our same taste. But in general, and this is the other thing I'm gonna talk about. In general, right? When you look at this, except for the really the thick ones like this, they usually advertise the petite, skinny one. They're advertising for the Caucasian man. The thing is, though, if you make it across those waters, or if you fly into the other country and mingle, you will find that you are high up there on the menu as a brother. Here's the caveat. As a brother, we must conduct ourselves in such a manner that they respect brothers. And this is where the pookies, the passport pookies and stuff, these dudes, they just cause a bunch of problems. All right. And so in these travels, right? In these travels, the other thing that happens is you have a lot of these BWs. I was on the live on TikTok, and a BW was trying to tell me what to beware of. Oh, you need to beware of the women. I was like, and here's the thing. You are at more of a risk with the BW in the United States than you are with the women outside the United States. You're only at risk with women outside the United States if you do something stupid, like take two of them up to your room trying to floss, um, drinking too much to where you lose situational awareness. All right. And so these are the things that's getting dudes caught up. All right. And so these women are trying to weaponize that, because the B dub, now that brothers are traveling and we see that, oh, wow, we thought that the Asian thing looked just like real skinny, the models that they had in the magazine. And then when you really go travel, you see that a lot of them look like this. The thing is, the ones that look like this aren't really desired by the Caucasian, aren't really desired by the men of that country, because they have a different taste, right? But this suits our taste. So we go there, but you don't know until you go. You don't see what it is until you go. And so what you have is, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it's like. What you have is the BW that warns you not to do what's going to benefit you. The same way they warned us, ooh, don't get a credit card, because they weren't good at discipline, financial discipline. Right, exactly, bro. Exactly, young boy 24. All right. The B Dub don't like they lack discipline. So a credit card is really bad for them. All right. It's bad for any of their minions that they raise up to not be manly, right? But for men, we understand the purpose of using money, this, that, and the other, right? And so they would warn us, oh, don't get a credit card, don't get a credit card. The same way they're warning us not to go and get a better life for ourselves, because they sure as hell can't provide it. All right. And so the thing is, they are starting to see that they cannot compete with this. They cannot compete with these women. All right. Because even let's say you like the thickest, thick woman, and only the BW could be that thick. I would still choose relatively nice looking woman. All right, and I would see the beauty in the non thickness simply because this woman provides me with a pleasant life. The woman that I really miss the most, and I say this a lot, is the Venezuelan woman I met while I was in Colombia. The one we was up by the pool and everything, right? I really missed her. When she was like a help, she was really a help me. And that was like, and what really separated us was the all the stuff going on, and then I lost her number because my phone was stolen by an Uber driver in Brazil. All right, and so, and it is what it is. All right, and it and so I missed that woman, right? And and she wasn't like the thickest, protruding thing. No, she was just the regular lady. Wasn't gonna be on nobody's magazine. She wasn't overweight or nothing. She was a nice. She had a little nice shape, but I mean, she wasn't gonna be on Maxim magazine or anything like that. All right. And so, what was it? It was peaceful. We had fun. It was a joy to be in each other's company, and that's what the BW can't give. They'll give you a fight, but they're not going to give you peace. All right. And then our seed, we got to guard our seed. Brothers, we have to guard our seed because the BW ain't playing. They're destroying our community and our ability to replace each other inside the womb and outside the womb. Simply because the only thing they give a damn about is themselves. They don't care about nobody else. All they care about is themselves. Right? When they're marching for everyone else's cause. All right. If they were interested in building the Afro community, you wouldn't need to march for that. I want y'all to think about that. If they really wanted to build a community, it wouldn't require marching. All they would need to do is get with the good men who want to be fathers instead of trying to force bad men to be the fathers they don't want to be. Bottom line. All right. So it is what it is. And I'm gonna shut it down for now. And I don't know when I'll be doing the last one, but y'all just pay attention. I'm gonna get into the difference between these places. I'm saying that we got options. All right. And so, brothers, it's time to get your funds together and exercise options. Because the other thing is the cost of living is livable in these other places in a way that it is not in the US. All right. So with that said, I'm out. I'll holler at y'all on the next one.